brain and behavior, testosterone administration induces a red shift in Democrats.
But this is a study specifically done in men. I almost wonder, it's not really ethical to do that to women at all, but that kind of makes me a little bit curious because as a woman who has taken testosterone, I was significantly more left leaning whilst I was still on it. I didn't start to begin shifting kind of slightly towards the right until after I detransitioned and started to wean myself off the hormones.
Well, let's read the abstract. Do you know how to read scientific documentation?
No, I'm not that great at it, honestly.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is something I know that X would be able to do really well.
Yeah.
Abstract. Objective. An experiment was run to test if a testosterone administration would influence political preferences by 136 males. Method: synthetic testosterone or placebo was administered to participants who identified the strength of their political affiliation. Results: before testosterone treatment, we found that weakly affiliated Democrats had a 19% higher basal testosterone than those who identified strongly with the party. So, in other words, these guys had higher testosterone levels to begin with than people who were hardline leftists. When weakly affiliated Democrats received additional testosterone, the strength of their party affiliation fell by 12%. And they reported 45% warmer feelings towards Republican candidates. So literally all you have to do is increase their testosterone, and suddenly it's God Emperor Trump. I
It's
told you
wild.
this. I told you this a long time ago. This is one of the first conversations me and you had. That all you have to
Yeah.
do to get a lot of these men to start voting Republican is to get them to the gym, get their natural testosterone up a little bit, and suddenly it's going to be vote for the Don. Vote for Trump.
I wonder what the mind state of said men were when they signed up for the study. Were they just doing it to get paid? Or was there also the ulterior motive of being like, oh, I want extra testosterone? Oh, my cat sneezed. Bless you.
There's got to be at least a couple of the guys that are in there. I was like, well, I don't want to try steroids, but a little bit of tea, it can't cause any problems.
Right?
But it's like, look at this. Political preferences are thought to be largely determined by young adulthood. Political partisanship motivates individuals to vote for the party with which they identify, to know, interpret political information in ways which that are sympathetic to the policy standards. Partisan identifies are stable personality features and are rarely put due to change of infirma Mahat and Roosevelt. Party identification has been conceived as effective attachment to a social group. One's genes appear to explain 50% of party affiliation. And I'd like to see that. Because by all accounts, I should probably vote Democrat.
Same, honestly.
Leaving
It
an
actually makes me
opportunity for
really
life
curious.
experiences to alter political preferences. The brains of conservatives and liberal may appear to be different, though the evidence for this is mixed. Even
I
with
feel like
all
it's
these
probably
indicators, why people vote or support one political candidate over another, rather than simply voting for their own party, is poorly understood. Several lines of evidence suggest that Democrats are more open to new ideas and cognitively flexible compared to Republicans. And yeah, I'd agree with that. But with Democrats, you tend to have this issue of they make 99 ideas that are fucking absolutely insane and stupid. That last idea is gonna work though. Then you have the Republicans, which is a party of absolutely no fucking ideas.
You know, as far as like political, what's the word? Political leanings, I guess. I really wonder how much of it is like nature versus nurture kind of thing.
Just the
Like,
environment they grow up in.
yeah, like how much is it that, oh, they're just agreeing with the environment they grew up in versus like a genetic factor?
Oh, you remember that book that I wrote that
Yeah.
came out not long ago of evil men, where at
Yeah.
some point in the book I point out the thing that Hitler, Marx, Stalin, Mao, they all had something in common. One moment here. And that thing that they had in common was a not so great home life. Hitler's dad used to beat the shit out of him. Stalin's dad was a drunk who also beat the shit out of him. Mao and Marx, they just didn't like that their dads were telling them what to do. They didn't get the rod as much as they needed it. But there was still that same thing. They all had daddy issues, and they all basically worshiped their mother. Even though the story of what happened was Stalin and his mom, whenever she was on her deathbed, like one of her last sets of words were, "It's like mother, you remember the czar? I'm something like a czar now. You should have been a priest." Damn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mao's whole problem was he didn't want to get married. What's he do?
Hmm.
He winds up marrying the bitch anyways. And then he cheats on her, like, and his 5 other wives. And then he swam naked in the Yangtze River with a bunch of teenagers.
Yikes.
But yeah, that's a thing here. All these guys, they all had that same individual issue here. There's a lot that goes into what like actually creates your testosterone production. And these guys, they tend to have an issue with mother worship. They all love the shit out of their mothers. And like Benito Mussolini, who only didn't make it into the book because I set myself on a time limit to get it done, he had issues with his mother and father. His mom was always there to save his ass. His dad was always sitting there, like, reaming his ass for being a dumb shit. He also tried to marry his stepsister.
Fuck.
Yeah. But that was the thing. He tried to marry his stepsister. Supposedly even knocking her up.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's like, this is the man who made the trains run on time in Italy. The guy who was praised throughout all of Europe the first 10 years. And he's a sexual deviant. And a lot of people thought he was just really fucking weird. Same thing for Hitler. Supposedly he got peed on by his niece. Stalin? Okay, yeah, he was actually pretty normal. Whenever it came to that. Like the only weird thing about him was with Stalin, the weird thing about him was that his the wife that he loved. That one, I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but that particular wife was literally 20 years younger than him. They had a couple kids together. That's the weirdest thing about him. And back then, that was normal. Like, literally, my grandfather was like 35 when my grandma was born. But nobody batted an eye at it.
Different times, I guess, but fuck.
It's still fucking weird to us.
Yeah.
But to them, that was just Tuesday.
It's
But,
fucking wild how history went back then, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, just different times, different things. And, you know, But even back in the day, banging your niece was fucking weird. Even back in the day, swimming as the only adult with a bunch of teenagers in the river was fucking weird. Even back in the day, uh, getting peed on. Wait, I already said getting peed on by your niece. Marrying your stepsister was fucking weird. But this was the fascists. This was the socialists. These were the communists. And if you look at Antifa and a lot of the sexual proclivities that they have, all the motherfuckers running out there with dog masks and shit like that, doing everything they
Yeah.
can to be fucking naked, it makes a lot of
First
sense
speaking
now,
during
doesn't it?
protests.
These protests are fucking weird. I don't want to go to these protests. Those people are fucking weird. I don't want to be around them.
Yeah, it makes me thankful. I don't think there's really much that going on around me. Because what the fuck do you mean you're going to a protest trying to be serious and you're in a fucking fursuit? Like what?
And they're gonna play like the same three AI songs that had very little effort put into it. You can make some banging shit off an AI song, but you gotta put a little bit of effort into it. Otherwise,
At
it's just
least
gonna come
write
out like
out most of the
fucking
lyrics. Yeah.
like literally the song that they were playing last time I watched these protests was "Hey MAGA, hey ICE, fuck you." And it's just like a whole bunch of people chanting, but it was obviously like AI. And I'm just like, you guys could have done a lot better. You're supposed to be the party of creatives. But literally,
For real.
all we got to do is get a lot of these guys into the gym, and suddenly they're going to start loving Trump.
I mean, shit.
I'm going to start bringing lefties to the gym.
Politics aside, they'd be healthier whether or not they shift fucking their opinions and whatnot. Like, they'd be fucking healthier.
Just like get some weak, scrawny guy who's letting his girlfriend bang 5 different dudes he doesn't like, and just put some tren in his protein shake. And then when he's like big and
Alright.
jacked and has delts bigger than my fucking skull, he just starts ignoring his girlfriend, starts banging a bunch of chicks she don't like, just to fucking punish her.
Okay, now we're getting unethical fucking. But, like, it's a funny thought, but is it ethical? I don't really think so.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna actually do that. Besides, the one guy who used to sell gear at my gym is no longer present.
I see.
Otherwise, I'd totally be thinking about it. I'm kidding.